Hello, everybody. It's VerticalSandwich. Welcome back to Let's Play Illusions of Gaia. So, I did actually end up beating Solid Arm using kind of the safest, saddest method possible. But hey, it's a thing. It worked. So I'm gonna show you the little run through here because I got down to the point where the run through the mansion didn't take me any time at all. So the key to this run, the key to doing this is one thing. And I tried a lot of different stuff. I tried jump attacking, because, jump attacking has some invincibility frames. I thought maybe that would work. I tried the slide attack thing numerous times. I tried the block and attack method and couldn't get the rhythm down. I tried the rhythm method and couldn't get the block and attack down. Sorry. Horrible joke. Horrible. Had to cut out a yawn there because I'm recording this at 1:30 in the morning, which is normally like noon for me, but I actually was up all day. So there. Alright, I did because getting another herb, it was it's such a slight detour that you really can't avoid it. Well, you can, but it's just ill-advised. So, this entire strategy relies on one thing. And it's glaring. It's so crazy and glaring. Now, I'm going to let him kill me because coming back with a new life will give me way more life than I have right now. And when you die, you start right outside the door, so. So what I do then is I'll just eat two herbs, because that's what you can eat without wasting one. Or at least half of one. And then equip the next one. But the glaring omission in Solid Arm and Solid Arm's programming is this little corner where he cannot hit you. And so you can use herbs over here, and if you charge up a spin attack and go against the far wall, when you come back, you can hit him once and sometimes twice. Now, that doesn't mean it's easy, but it's far easier than any of the other methods I attempted. Now, what I did learn is you want to spend a little time against that far wall, like hit that wall as hard as you can, and then just kind of sit there for a little bit. Like, just seriously, a fraction of a second. Because that'll keep him walking, and then when you hit him. Because when he's attacking sideways like this, he's invulnerable. You can't hurt him. And sometimes I just had trouble getting a spin going. You also want to be very careful to only hold left and right. To only push left and right during this attack. Because if you push down at all, you'll hit the conveyor belt, and then he'll start shooting fireballs at you. And if you hit up at all, you'll be out of the range of invincibility for his attack here, and you'll get hit. Which happens to me at one point. He almost kills me. See, you can hit him twice. Now, considering you have to hit him 40 times, twice is nice. And it rhymes. Wow. That was a lot of stuff. I mean, a lot of rhymes. Considering you have to hit him 40 times, twice is nice, and it rhymes. Wow, that's a stanza there. That's an absolute, I just composed a verse of a poem. Yeah, I think I had trouble with this move, partially because of my lack of coordination with repetitive button pressing, and second because of the age and quality of my SNES controller, which is an original Super Nintendo controller that actually came with the old Super Nintendo that I have that was found in somebody's basement. But it works. Played multiple Super Nintendo games on it, so. See, there we go. That's like the perfect attack. Now, does this take over 10 minutes? Yes, it does. Are there methods for beating him that take less than 2? Yes, there are. Was I capable of doing any of those? No, I was not. So that's where we stand. And there are some big periods where I get like no attack in. I mean, I do the spin and stuff, but I just can't get to him. Now you literally, as long as you are flush with this pit here and as far over to the right as possible, he really has no chance to damage you. Like, at one point, I stopped holding the controller because holding down A was really bothering my thumb. So, yeah, that's the kind of cheat this is. You could get up and go to the bathroom if you wanted to in the middle of this fight. Which breaks it. I mean, it breaks this fight. It breaks this fight in every possible... So you'll see, like, how much easier it is to use herbs now. Because he can just swing away and there's nothing he can do. Oh, yawn. Jeez. If that recorded, I'm sorry. So we've got him like a third of the way down. We're not quite halfway through the video, so that's fine. I'm gonna get it done, so I don't have to feel guilty about it. I didn't have to find a nice way to say, like, yeah, you know, we're not doing that. It looks like he has 23 hit points left out of his 40. See, that kind of stuff was the problem, is there was no good way, and I didn't realize I wasn't in the... I finally got back into the zone of invincibility there, but it couldn't have been off by much. I think that was the last damage I took. It wasn't that I figured out the strategy better or something. It was just that it's so hard for him to damage you if you do this right. In fact, if you do it, you know, if you do everything I'm telling you and it works out for you, like, he can never damage you, as long as you're in this space. It's quite convenient. Well, for us, inconvenient for him. I should say too that he's gonna make a mention. He's gonna say something a little later. That this boss is actually the first boss in the game Soul Blazer, I believe. I've never played Soul Blazer, but this is a game in the Soul Blazer series. So this boss actually is continuity to an earlier game. I'm assuming he was not this hard in that game, but maybe he was. Because it said, like, when I read about this, it said he was the first boss. Because I looked up multiple strategies. I didn't invent this strategy, per se. It was suggested on a forum where somebody said, like, you could do these spins and you could charge up the next one while you were in the process of doing one. And that kind of thing didn't work for me, but during the process of trying them, I realized that you could stand over here and not get hit. And once you've got this in place, that this is a place where he can't attack with fireballs, because he only attacks with fireballs when you're on the other platform, where he can't attack you with fireballs and he can't hit you with the one attack he can use. If he could start shooting fireballs right now, we'd be dead. We'd be toast. We'd be toast, because that's how fireballs and stuff work and things. So yeah, you've got to get, like I said, you got to get him when he's walking. So that's the real trick to this. We've got him less than, or more than halfway now. So at least, and we've, you know, and by doing this, we have provided a strategy by which anyone can defeat this boss with minimal risk to life and limb. And there really is no continuity issue with this boss. Beating this boss and then beating the game does not change the ending or anything, so. This boss is purely optional in just the optional sense of the, in the purest sense of the word. There is nothing about your, the only thing that changes at all for you going in here is you get the dark points from the enemies, and you can get that herb. So theoretically, you come in and defeat all the enemies, get the herb, and leave without fighting the boss. Because clearly, I mean, I guess you could, if you could get through this boss without using an herb at all from like full life, well, from whatever life you get to the boss with, then you could gain an herb. I mean, because right after this is dark space. So once you leave, you go right to the town of Tao or Dao or whatever. Alright. I keep having to shut the thing off for yawns. Should make a pot of coffee. But I'm so lazy. Really am. It's kind of a running joke, but I sure hate to do stuff I don't have to do. It's like, that's why there's stuff you have to do. It's there to occupy your time, to keep you from doing the things you don't have to do. Does that make sense? No, vertical sandwich doesn't make any sense at all. I know it doesn't. I know it doesn't. Just me being weird. And this is like one of the most obnoxious things to watch. It was as obnoxious actually doing it. I was just like, oh, geez. I had to stop looking at his life because I was just like, this is... Yeah, it doesn't look like I hesitated all over there, but I really do. Because if you don't, he gets an attack started. And like I said, once he enters attack phase, you can't hurt him. And I did look up at the bar, because this is post-commentary, by the way, I'm sorry. In case that wasn't obvious. I did look up at the bar when he had 3 hit points left, and I thought about psycho sliding through him. And then I mess that up so bad every time I do it. It's a good strategy, I just can't consistently... Like, what happens is, instead of sliding, I do a jump attack, and then I'm right in his range, and rather than, like, sliding right away or backing off, I try to walk through him, and I end up taking, like, 4 hits from him, which is 8 points of damage. No, I take that back. It's 16 points of damage. Because it's 4 of those, or it's 8 of those stupid balls. And a ball is 2 hit points. I mean, and that's the, it's actually an interesting thing to think about. Is, what we know is that there are 20 balls to representing the full hit points of our hero. And, you know, enemies and such. And that those balls are only in 2 sizes. There's like big and small. So actually, enemies could have any multiple of 2 above 40 kind of hit point scale going on. So Solid Arm could have 800 hit points, but the least we could take off is, you know, well, I suppose 400 is a better example, but the least we could take off is like 10. So there we go, he's dead. A quiet voice is heard. I was defeated again. Blazer was strong, but you are stronger. Danger approaches this planet. You should hurry to the Tower of Babel. So that's the reference to the first game, and that's all that happens when you beat him. So yeah, so what I'm saying is, all we know is that the hit point units can only be split, like down the middle, like so it's their units divisible by 2. But you know, if you start off doing, you know, well, I guess your hit say things like 1 and 9 and things like that. So I suppose that's not really a good argument. But if you started off doing 10 instead of 1, like, and everything had 10 times as much hit points, the scales would all look the same as long as you're not using numbers. That's what I'm trying to say. But it's unimportant and boring, and this LP is over. Like, I'm just like blah, blah, blahing, and the LP's done. So, when we come back, something different. Because that's what happens when we finish an LP. We replace it with a different LP. So, this LP will be being replaced by something different. And now Gem is nowhere to be found. If you backtrack, you can backtrack as far as you want. All of the gems, like Gem in every location, is gone. Because that's the only thing that logically makes sense. So, I will see you guys for the next LP. You take care. And bye, everybody.